Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to join our webinar again, Inclus Academy webinar, this time on the topic of building and operating dashboards in the Inclus software. And overall, sorry. I'm joined today with my colleagues Matthias and Valtteri from our CSM team, and I won't go through all the sort of the specific topics that they will cover. They will speak for themselves. Just a couple of technical practicalities before we start. Please send in questions, comments through chat or the Q&A section. We will keep an eye on them and we will address any of them like as we go on the fly. And that would be sort of a good way also to make things more dynamic. So please send in questions if you have any or comments. Again, we will be recording this, so rest assured you will be receiving the recording afterwards. But without further ado, I think I'll just give the floor to Matthias and Valtteri for you to take over. So, gentlemen, go ahead.
Thank you, Irkku, and good afternoon to everyone. My name is Valtteri Franzi. I'm the head of customer success at Inclus. So pleasure to meet you all, many people that I do recognize. If we haven't met, I hope we do have at some point chance to discuss to one each other and learn from each other. But let me share the screen and set the stage for the actual discussion on the platform as well. So just to guarantee in the beginning that we're all talking about the same topic. So today's topic is the risk consolidation topic, an issue that many of you are probably very familiar with, and otherwise you probably wouldn't be joining with us today. From the technological provider perspective, so given that we work with several customers in different industries, or many of them have very different scopes also in their enterprise risk management and business continuity practices, we have to in the beginning recognize that the structures and very technically also in the platform, but also thematically and also conceptually how the risk management processes has been organized are very different between one or the other, so it's hard to say or provide any single solution that would suit to everybody. So for some companies, it might be the consolidation issue is dealing with the, let's say that how do we get the understanding of the project portfolio risks. Maybe some companies are doing a high level top-down risk management process, and maybe some kind of thematic sustainability risk management as well, whereas some other companies are doing full bottom-up processes with all business units covered, all functions covered, all group functions covered, and so on and so forth. So it's of course very different challenge and scale of issues when trying to consolidate in these different settings. But let me say that from our perspective, we can divide maybe the risk consolidation issue to maybe two interrelated issues. One is dealing with the well, let's say the primary goal is of course that you have many risks. You have tens of risks, hundreds of risks, even thousands of risks, and the basic goal is how to make that number of risks smaller. So that's the issue of consolidation. And two interrelated issues. One is dealing with the semantics and vocabulary. So let's say that the 4 business units identify risks that are dealing with the cyber risks, and they're labeling the risks in different fashion, but they are maybe part of the same bigger issue. So how do we play with the meanings of the words and how we consolidate in this fashion? That's one part of the issue. And then of course the AI tools are great help for that type of issue, for example. The other part of the work is the aggregation. So let's say that we do have different levels of the risks, and in the lower level, in the functional level, for example, let's say that there are some kind of risk scoring applied in the risk assessment, as there often is, so some kind of financial impact probability and whatnot, risk scoring. So how do we make that kind of calculation and math sound? So that's another part of the issue, dealing with the numbers basically. So how do we put these risks together so that the reporting is reliable? And so those are maybe the two different parts of the same consolidation issue. And if you've been engaging with our salespeople or customer team previously, you might be hearing a lot of talk about the AI as well, but also about the dashboard. So dashboards is a technical term that we use to refer specific parts of our platform. So it's basically tool for risk consolidation. So pulling up the data from different risk management streams and processes together and use the different visualization techniques and AI functionalities as well to put them in the same picture. So dashboards, AI, those are the sort of the key features how we try to cover them, and you will see them very soon in action as well. About the risk consolidation issue, one topic that we should of course mention is that what are the group reporting needs? Of course, they might be very different also between the organizations and between the leadership teams. So how do you get the group top 10 risks described? So it might be that it's something that is really coming from the group perspective and relevance, and they have their own interest areas and own perspective to the group's development areas and so on. It might be that you are doing bottom-up risk management processes, and then you might want to just understand what is occurring largely in the organization and are significant enough, for example. You might be applying some kind of weightings to different business units or subsidiary to companies. It might be that you are looking at the regional priorities or manufacturing site or function level priorities. Maybe you have single risks that are large enough to be important to be reported just as such, no matter what the business unit or the function is. You might be having thematic focus areas. You might having ad hoc decision needs, so something that the board audit and risk committees are especially interested, or the leadership team. It might be that your reporting is based on something that has specific timeline or urgency of action, maybe specific improvement areas, what is actionable for us, areas where we are lacking control. So of course, this is maybe very familiar to you, but maybe just want to highlight that these are all things that do affect to how we want to then consolidate the report and what kind of features and functionalities we apply in the technological and technical space, so to say. So basically our approach is to always start from the group reporting needs, so what is really needed, and then make a reliable and sound system to get those kind of reports out. And I think it's really important to also maintain the transparency to the original data, and I think any good platform should allow you to move in the different levels of analysis rather well. So you have the consolidated reports and views, but you have also statistics to full bottom-up risk processes, for example, that you can see that how many risks certain business units have identified and where are gaps. Maybe this unit is not identifying risks as much as the other business unit, for example. And you can also dive deeper into specific focus areas, given that you have some kind of consolidated broader risk team, and underneath that you have the specific topics and teams in the different part of the organization with different impacts and different significance. And really allow the sort of flexible analysis that you can also in agile way to ask questions, and the platform supports you in finding the answers to your questions. And I think one specific topic is also that if we consider that the risk management should be dynamic and you identify new risks, then how you deal with the change management. So your list of consolidated risks might be looking like one thing in one moment of time, but when you go a couple years ahead and the landscape changes and so on, and you identify new risks, it might be that you need to of course update that as well. So how do you then deal with that? So do you need to go through all your risk registers and update manually all some kind of data fields for each risk and so on? So again, things that the AI are probably, and we already know that they are dealing quite well with already today. So a couple of key functionalities that we can provide in this fashion. Let's look at this after this slide. So dashboard visualizations I already mentioned. So basically visualization and AI functionalities that pull the data from different Inclus streams that might be having similar information structure or different information structure. So it might be that the scales of the financial impact assessment are different or the same, and of course that would change how we set up the system, for example. There are certain ways you can do the dashboards and how you consolidate the risks from the different streams. You can do it with the automatic definitions to some degree and also with manual definitions. So that's again a question to you if you want to do it the ease of use, or if you want to do the analysis and then think through what, okay, maybe these risks are similar, and then put them into same basket. But Inclus enables both. There's also AI feature in the dashboard level where you can summarize all the qualitative data across any Inclus project. So let's say you have a specific risk team that is being assessed across the organization. So you just with a single click or any custom prompt, you can get out of summaries of all those topics, and it also gives you better understanding how the same topic is being reflected in the different parts of the organization. And then there's also the AI feature that you can do in the dashboard level, but also in the level of each single stream, where you can basically with the AI support, you can classify your risks to any existing risk taxonomy that can be your sort of list of consolidated risks. So let's say group 15, group 20, or however your taxonomy is built. But the sort of overarching risk topics that you want to report to the board. So with a single click, the AI can really match any type of risk definition and risk title and risk description with your existing taxonomy. So that's quite neat. And finally, worth of mentioning, we released last week in the test service the AI agent. We will showcase that soon too. So with certain structure, so if your full risk register is within one Inclus project or one Inclus process, then AI agent allows you to pretty much interact freely with the risk register. So you can remove duplicates, you can merge risks, you can update any classification, you can do analysis and basically ask any questions about the existing risk register. You can also challenge your existing risk register with the AI chatbot, and then also there are integrated features how you can also put those suggestions into action into your risk register. We're also planning to release it in the dashboard level also soon, but that's not available yet. So AI agent is still working within a single Inclus project or process. But hey, let me stop here and pass the floor to Matthias, and let's take a closer look at the functionalities.
Yeah, thanks, Valtteri. I think this is also a good moment to point out that the Inclus version 6.0 will be available pretty soon, and it will involve a lot of these AI enhanced AI capabilities as well.
Thanks, Valtteri, and
but yeah, Matthias, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and so my name is Matthias Sarvan, and I'm Customer Success Manager in Inclus, as I guess somebody already knows me, but I think there is some people that I haven't met, so hopefully we meet in the future as well. So I will show you briefly a couple of examples of our dashboard functionalities. I will only show a couple of them because we have restricted amount of time to use. There is a lot of ways to do the risk consolidation and merging together. So if you are interested in more deep dive, we can of course arrange a different meeting to dive deep into these different functionalities. But here we have a couple of examples in two dashboards that are in different levels. So this first is more detailed risk dashboard with different business units, and the another one is the consolidated top level risk teams. So let's go first into the more detailed dashboard with different business units and their own risk maps. So here I have brought these imaginary processes. I have used this airspace company example and generated risks with AI there, and all the data from these different Inclus processes are now brought here, and there is this kind of a merging data UI where you can do different kind of merging functions. And maybe the default thing that I can say is that you can merge risks by their name. So if there is similar risk names or exactly the same risk names, they will be merged automatically together. But if there are different named risks in different business units, they are still brought into the visualization. So you can see the risks in different business units by bringing them here. But there are many other merge rules that we can not now go in deep now. So let's check the first risk map. So this is the overview of all risks in the all business units. So here you can filter the risks by business unit. For example, here is this kind of project filter. So you can see it dynamically changes the risk view, or then you can check like all projects. It combines it to an average view. And of course, there is different kind of filtering that you can see, like strategic risks in all different business units or certain business unit as well. And in addition to this, there is also a possibility to create this kind of a different result page or reporting pages here, where you can, of course, filter beforehand, like only the one business unit, so that, for example, the business unit management team could just check their own risk maps and not care about maybe the others, and then have the group summary where like whole leadership team or board can check the overall situation in this overview. And then there is one example of consolidating the risks by this kind of a custom data field that we have. So for example, in cyber risk custom data field, so these risks have been tagged for that custom data field. You can see what kind of risks there are. And if we want to go to the higher level example from here, then we can see that in this another dashboard, I have merged all the risks. These are the same contents as well, but I've used this custom data field as a merging rule that you saw in the previous picture. So there is significantly fewer risks. So for example, here is a cyber risk as a bigger overarching theme, and then you can also dive deep into the cyber risk and check the original risk items in this sidebar. So you can see the cyber risk as a merged dashboard item, and here is the merging rule that is what those risks are there. And then you can click here to see what kind of risks there are in which business units. And of course, if you want, you could use the AI to add certain risks under this taxonomy. So you could just click the unmatched data, and for example, use this deep space exploration business units, and click the one risk, and here is the original risk. And then when you go to the update the risk, you can see here is the AI autofill that can directly suggest that, okay, this is a cyber risk. And then it automatically goes to the original items and part of this top level cyber risk when you have updated the page. All right, let's go to the another previous dashboard again. Let's see a couple of different result views that we can use So for example, we can use this kind of item ranking. So this ranks 10 top items for each business unit, for example. Or then you can watch the whole average of all business units. And then you can use, of course, the same visualization that in the process level. And also more statistical analysis methods. For example, box and whisker plot can be used, that you can just check that what kind of a different risk values you can see in different business units, and in here you can dive deep to the values and check the median or maximum number or minimum number, or then you can view if there is some kind of an outlier here. So this is quite interesting if you want to have more statistical analysis of those risks. Actually, I had one example here. I can add it right here actually. Okay, where are those? Let's see. Yeah, actually we have had task Gantt chart. For example, if we have multiple mitigation actions, we can add those there as well. So if there is mitigation actions is in process level, you can then filter all the tasks by business units as well.
Matthias, we have a question.
Yeah.
I'm reading out loud. Is it possible to add the current share price at Nasdaq, etc., of listed companies to the risk dashboard over time, enabling the analysis of how the incidents have impacted on the share price?
Thank you for the question. Not the easiest question to answer. Maybe Valtteri can also support me with this, but of course, when we have the AI assistant coming up, we can also import like different PDFs to the risk process and analyze risks based on some kind of reports and values, of course. And we also have this kind of hard data function where we can add external data points that can be then weighed out in the risk assessment.
Yeah, maybe very briefly, I think the answer is maybe or maybe not.
Yeah.
And I mean, considering like that the tool here is primarily the way to look at it is about the risks. So currently we have the different risk register, and we're talking about the risk register consolidation of different risks. And now the question deals with the external data coming from somewhere else. So that's one question, how to model and put that into platform. The other one is that about the incidents. So how are the incidents modeled in the tool? And third question is about the attribution. So how do you make the them two to match? I understood that was the question, that you want to understand the impact of the incidents on that. So that's a challenging one. So maybe we need to continue on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on that same note, let's take another question that just arrived. And again, I'm reading out loud. Do all projects / processes / units that you want to consolidate have to use the same impact and likelihood scales? I can imagine that the risk appetite on enterprise level, for example, what is severe impact, is different from the risk appetite on process or business unit level.
Yeah, so the answer to that is that they do not have to be the same. The criteria can be different, but of course then the way how you do the consolidation is different. So you might have monetary terms in different business units, but the scales are just different. But then of course they are something that you can put on the same dimension. But I mean, if they can be also verbal, that's another option as well. And do you mind if I share a couple more slides, or Matthias, did you have something else also on the agenda still?
Yeah, actually I had maybe the AI chatbot demo for the final thing I would show if we have time. So
yeah, if I'll just
we have
show
5 minutes.
Just very briefly deals with about this aggregation question as well. So I do want to mention that what Matthias showed as the different levels and layers of the analysis, you notice that there were the dashboard and risk graphs where the consolidated risks did appear, and they were pretty much represented in the risk matrices as averages. And then you had also additional, of course, the transparency and visibility of the different risks. And then Matthias also showed you that there's also statistical ways to look at it, so you can look at certain risks or certain risk categories and look at them from the deviation point of view. So where is the median and what is the average and what is the top 25% and where are the outliers? So there is a separate visualization tool for that. However, we are also adding more functionalities, and with some of our customers, we're also discussing about the different ways how to aggregation can be done. And here, basically, the idea is that the different risks, when they are clustered, or you understand what risks should be put together and consolidated, the way how you calculate them is not based on the average, but based on the aggregated financial impact. So you have the financial impact for each one. So for the, let's say that you have production downtime here as one risk, and it might be actually consisting of 7 different risks in very different business units, all with different financial impact. So then you just put them together and stack them on top of each other, and you get some of net impact. And the other way you can look at it is that okay, where these risks occur, which is on the x-axis. So in how many business units these risks actually occur, and what is the percentage of those business units of your overall business unit. So that's something that we've been working also, which also quite interesting way how you could do the consolidation in more nuanced way. There were also some clients who were asking, okay, how do you then put the likelihoods and probabilities in the same question? We've been pondering this a lot, and our suggestion is that if this is really something that you want to do, maybe you just replace the y-axis, which was the aggregated financial impact. You just replace that with the expected monetary weighting. You introduce the weightings by probabilities in there. There, I can imagine there would be other ways, but they are very, very complicated topics. And if you start considering that, okay, production downtime is actually 7 different risks in different business units, and all with different financial impacts and all with different likelihoods as well. And then you need to start asking that, okay, are these probabilities are independent or are they related events? And then, or maybe your risk register includes both risks that are independent and risks that are related. So it gets really, really messy to start then doing the aggregation on the probability level. So not necessarily maybe the useful, hence maybe this would be our current sort of suggestion how to do it. So you understand broadly the coverage of that risk within your organization on the x-axis, and on the y-axis you understand the financial impact. So maybe the type of business continuity or preparedness planning type of matrix maybe. But I'll stop here. And Matthias, if you want to quickly show the chatbot still.
Yeah, I think we have 1 minute time, so it's gonna be brief, but let's come back to that in the later webinar. Then I will show the screen. Yeah, so here I have one ready-made chat with our chatbot. So this is still in the test server, so will be published soon in April, and this will be fine-tuned before that still. So here I have one example risk process with ERM risks, so strategic risks, operational risks, financial risks, compliance risks. Then I asked the AI agent to propose how to decrease the amount of risk in the existing risk list. So it proposed different options to how to do it, and gives guidance quite nicely already. Then I asked it to proceed with step 1 to combine the overlapping risks, and then also archive those that are duplicates, and it gives quite well like propositions before it does actually anything. So you have to ask a couple times that it will actually do something, and then update those suggestions as well, so it doesn't automatically do any updates. So always the human is there in between to agree those updates. So then I asked it to proceed to do this merging risks with similar risk names and archive those that are then duplicates, and then you can just update those risks that have similar names, and you can use this chatbot as well to do it, and then you can archive the duplicate risks quite easily in this view. And then you can see that the amount of items are now then decreasing then quite nicely, but then this can be working as your assistant, and you can ask how to provide more data, or how to analyze the data better, or how to run the process more efficiently. So this is my short introduction of this, and maybe in the next webinar we will go through it more comprehensive way.
Yeah, thanks guys, and sorry everyone for us running a little bit over time. I'll just share my screen for the last slide. Again, the recording will be made available, and you can follow the QR codes as you wish, based on what interests you. Hopefully this was useful for you, and please be in touch, like Valtteri mentioned in the chat, that if you require for further information, further thoughts, exchange of thoughts, please be in touch, and we will be happy to help you and discuss on the topics of dashboards and beyond, because we all know these are very complicated topics. So thank you all for joining today, and yeah, also advertising the version 6.0 of Inclus coming up pretty soon, so stay tuned. We will be we will be advertising on that very soon as well. So yeah, have a great day everyone, and see you soon. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.